She's coming, she's printing out something for me, a bunch of policies.
Oh, okay, what about the minutes? Did you get that?
Yes, sir, I think I got, well, I knew I had Eddie for the motion, and I think I had Corey for the second.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, did anyone sign up for public comment?
Anybody sign
No,
up for public comment?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, do I have a motion to close public comment period? Do I have a second? Second. That was Corey and Eddie. I'll help you, John.
Hands held high.
Okay, reports and discussion items. The first one, administrative updates, discussions, and questions. We get a copy of that long before the meeting. Does anyone have any questions or want to discuss anything? Okay. The approval of personnel, hiring and approvals and field trips. Mr. Moody?
Yes, it was in your packets as the consent agenda, so just, if there's any questions, just need you to vote on that. So,
Okay. Any questions before we vote? Do I have a motion to approve the personnel, the hiring and approvals and field trips as given to us in our email?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, Mr. Nelms, Smart Pass.
So, it's not really a secret that one of our biggest issues we have in the school system is bathrooms. That's a place where kids like to go hang out, they go and they vape, they do stuff they shouldn't be doing. Between every class period, if I get time to go in there, I'm running sometimes 10 or 15 kids just hanging out in the bathroom between classes. We've started to see an uptick in vandalism again, a little bit in our bathrooms. Our new wing, just right before Christmas break, there were shoes in the toilet. One of the bathroom doors is kind of starting to come off the hinge. You know, it's a place that's hard to supervise, so they know they can get away with things in there. So on a trip to Macon County doing some visits last month, Macon Middle was showing me how they handle their bathroom passes, their hall passes. And they use a system called Smart Pass. Basically, it's a digital hall pass. And on every kid's computer, because every kid has a computer, it puts them into like a digital line. So say if Miss Knott wants to go to the bathroom, she clicks on that Smart Pass. That will first she'll ask the teacher, hey, can I use the restroom? And they say yes. She'll go in there and she'll pick, and that, if she's in a certain room, the only bathrooms available while in that room is the closest one. And they can sign up and go to it. And you can limit to like 3 to 4 people, how many stalls are in the restroom. So if there's 3 stalls, you say 3 people at a time. If there's already 3 people in there, it puts her in that list. And as soon as there's a spot available, then they can go. You can also, it's just a way to monitor and check who's in the bathroom, went out of the hall, who's not in the classroom when they need to be. It tracks how often they're going, so if you've got a kid who's got low performing grades, and you pull this report, well, they're going to the bathroom 4 times a day for 20 minutes every day. That's information you can use in your parent conference to say that kids are not in class. And say school-wise, it gives you a record of who's in the hall at all times. So if we have to go into a hard lockdown, there's an immediate report that the administrators have that we can say, all right, here's Billy left this room, he's in this bathroom right now. We know where they're at. So it's just a way for one to help track, know where kids are at in the building, and hopefully limit vandalism and bathroom behaviors that are getting a little bit out of control because the place, they know they can go and get away with stuff. So I just kind of want to give y'all a rundown on that, how that's going to work. The plan is, we've already started the ball rolling. We'll be getting trained by the company this week and next week, and hopefully roll it out next
add something to that too.
Yeah.
Some of the schools that are using this, what they're doing, like during the break and transition periods between classes, they are closing the bathrooms. They're not letting kids go to the bathrooms, and they're shortening that time that they allow those kids to change classes. And then, so the kid signs up, and that keeps these groups out of there. I tell you,
And that's one thing we're
Yeah.
planning on doing in middle school is the transition between like second, third period is not a bathroom break. You go to class, and then when you get to class, they can get permission and go through the app, and it'll keep crowds down after that.
in 15 years as a principal, there's more issues in the bathroom than there is anywhere else in the school building.
Does that physically track them wherever they go through the school system, or it just, they hit a thing and it says you can go to the bathroom?
Right,
And
yeah.
how does it know when they've left? They just have to hit a button back?
So when they make the pass in the app, they create the hall pass, and if the bathroom's occupied, it gives them a red screen. And then once the student that's in there gets back to class, they make the teacher observes it, and they end pass. And that opens up the green light for the next person to go. It doesn't, it don't have like a GPS track with them or nothing like that. But it can limit, like, if you're in this wing, you only have access to this bathroom.
And if you go to a different bathroom,
Then you're in.
then that kid can be written up for being in an inappropriate area.
And how does it know that they went to the,
The computer doesn't know, that's just like a hall monitoring system, like if I'm in the hall or a teacher, why are you in the hall? Well, I had to go to the bathroom, well, aren't you in this class, why are you here, stuff like that.
okay. It'd be good if it could monitor, exactly where they
Yeah,
went.
I don't want to do that, if every kid had a tracker on somewhere.
You also put a timer on too, right?
They recommend doing like 5 minutes for break, and then if the kid goes over that, it alerts and lets us know. So if you got a kid who is truly having an emergency, and like a lot of times teachers, they say, hey, can I go to the bathroom? Yeah, go ahead. And they don't forget, but they get back into teaching, they don't know the time lapse.
Yeah.
Well, it will notify the teacher, hey, Billy's been gone to the bathroom for more than time, and it keeps it going, so they can call the office and be like, hey, maybe they're having an emergency, we can go check it. So I think it's a good thing, it's just another tool we can use to help know where kids are at, know who's in there, so if there is some vandalism, we know what 3 kids are in that restroom when it happens. So, any other questions?
Well, and if you cut down the time between the break, and the kids are having to get themselves in line to go to the bathroom, if somebody's abusing it or being where they're not supposed to be, and I've been waiting in line, I'm gonna be, and so then that's gonna alert quicker than it probably would otherwise.
And another thing, I do, so if anybody asks anybody in the room about this, well, we can't tell kids they're not going to the bathroom, they can't go to the bathroom. We're not doing that. We're actually gonna give them more opportunity to go to the bathroom with less consequence, because they can go they'll be free rein to go during class and just be monitored by the system. So, right now in middle school, they get 3 bathroom passes in 9 weeks per class. So now we're gonna take that away. They can, as long as it's a green light, they can go, we're gonna see how it goes.
Well, this increases instructional time too.
Should, yeah.
Yeah, I know bathrooms are a huge issue.
Yeah, they just wanted to make y'all aware of what's going on.
Okay, that's fine. Ms. Gibbs, uniform budget.
Yes, so in your packets, there is some spreadsheets and a summary page, a Word document, that's a summary page of what is on all of those spreadsheets. The uniform budget represents the operational costs for the school system for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. The uniform budget needs approval, board approval each year. I don't know if y'all had any questions about those spreadsheets or the different budgets. It's the same every year. The spreadsheets make up state, local, federal funds, capital outlay funds, child nutrition funds. The main thing to your approval.
Anybody have any questions about the uniform budget? Do I have a motion to approve the uniform budget as presented by Ms. Gibbs? So move. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Board policies, Mr. Henning.
Mr. Chairman, that is what Ms. Klein is busily doing, is printing out
Okay.
so we've got two packets at this point. There's the ones that I brought to you for the December meeting. They're back for second reading and final approval. I was trying to remember on the way over here, and Mr. Moody and I were texting and trying to remember how, a couple of you, I think, wanted to have printed copies, and I don't know whether we got those to you and everybody's reviewed them all. And if I remember right, it was you, Mr. Chairman, and Eddie
Yes.
wanted printed copies
Yes.
also. The same list, it's everything that's in the update memo, except for that policy 2302 that I don't think I've given you yet. It's remote participation in board meetings. We're ready to move forward on. Do you want more time to review them? You have questions for me about them?
No.
You all tell me where you are on them, because if you're ready,
When he asked me that question, I thought it was to bring the first reading, maybe some board policies first reading. No, I'm good with the second.
So I've got a different bunch that are for first reading today that,
Yes.
again, we don't, normally some boards will actually vote to acknowledge a first reading, but you don't really have to. It's just sort of procedurally got on your agenda, you looked at them first time, and then you can take as many times to read things as you want to. So,
Yeah.
I think we've got all of the first reading ones for today for you to kind of review, and I think Charlene has printed them all. If y'all don't need to see anything else and you're ready to move ahead, I think we could take a motion and vote on passage of the second reading from that list from December.
Okay.
Are y'all ready for that?
Are y'all ready to vote on that? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the second reading of the board policies that Mr. Henning presented at the December meeting?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you, sir. We will get you, I think we're printing out all of them, if I understood Charlene right, she's printing out all the first reads for today.
Okay.
And you got you got a bunch of reading homework to do. If we all get snowed in at the end of the week, you'll have plenty to look at.
Yeah, pop quiz coming up.
Okay, Mr. Henning, closed session.
Well, let's
You need to amend the
need to vote on that right there.
Oh,
contract for the,
I thought we just, no, you just approved for the agenda. Again, it's, we're roughly $180,000 in the hole for the program. I've talked to y'all about this since we're getting worse every year. The audit exception is that they figured out a way that we can get some of that back to our, the program if it ever reaches a balance and goes above and beyond. And we can start getting some of that back as a loan repayment to put back in our fund balances for the last couple of years where we've had to bail them out.
okay.
So it would actually help our fund balance, but to do that, had to make an audit exception that y'all need to vote and approve on.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the audit exception contract to help the child nutrition deficit? Do I have a motion to approve that? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Now,
Just need to sign, make sure you sign it.
I will. Closed session, Mr. Moody.
Mr. Chairman, the motion you need to entertain is to enter closed session pursuant to GS 143-318.1183 to consult with your attorney and preserve attorney-client privilege, and 1185 to instruct your agents and employees on negotiating real property acquisition. And you can just, somebody say it's what he said. So,
Do I have a second?
no, somebody needs to make the motion.
Okay.
But you can just say what he said.
I'll make a motion. Okay, Andy makes a motion. Do I have a second? All in favor? Any opposed? Announcements, Mr. Moody?
Too, of course, the next,
Next board meeting.
we're not gonna try the schools meeting, next board meeting, and don't forget, at the end of the month, we've got 2 days of board training, that's mandatory. Yeah, so.
What are those dates? Let me have them. 28th.
Thursday and Friday. No, Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, I have got both our explorers reserved, so we could ride together, she'll take it on personal day.
So it's
Okay.
28th and 29th, Tuesday and Wednesday?
It's 29th and 30th, Thursday.
Oh, Wednesday and Thursday. That's good.
29th and Thursday, January 29th to 30th. I will text y'all again, and this is the time, what time we need to leave, and we'll drive back and forth each day, be recent. But then that qualifies you, get your 6 hours, and you have to do it again for another 2 years, plus you'll get your ethics training.
Which is wonderful, because we had been coming here at 8 o'clock to get 2 hours, 3 times.
Board members, but hey, it's probably not a bad idea that every 2 years when new board members come on, if there are new board members, everybody's got to do it at the same time and see ethics and everything. Everybody's on the same page. That was one of the problems with the last time, I think.
That's what we recommend, is having everybody, even though you're not required to just get reelected or
Yes.
elected for the first time, hear all the same stuff, so everybody's on the same page.
Right.
And state law is y'all have to have 6 hours of training every 2 years, so this takes care of that.
Does that create a problem with the quorum, with all 5 of us together, or 6 of us? or
It's technically a board meeting, and you can notice it and say you're gonna be there to get training. I don't know if anybody wanted to make their own way. You're gonna drive to Asheville and go to RISA.
I think I'm good. Don't really need to sit through ethics training. I think I'm all right. So, yeah,
Okay.
I don't think I'll raise the
So
stake
it's the
over that.
29th and 30th, that's Wednesday and Thursday.
Yes.
And we're driving up there and then coming back and then driving back the next day.
I'll let y'all know what time we need to meet that morning up here.
Yeah. And I may stay up there that Thursday night, or Wednesday night, it just depends, I'll have to see what my wife's doing.
Okay, well, like I said, when I send y'all text, y'all can let me know what y'all want to do, and I'll,
We're gonna take 1 or 2 vehicles.
I've got 2 vehicles because Eddie's got long legs, so we'll help him.
No, I look back at my original text because I put it on my calendar. And the original text said 28, 29, but then you amended it.
Yes,
And
they sent me the wrong
said
dates.
29 and 30. So
And
that's where my mistake.
They send their emails out to you too, should be on your email.
Hey, John, is this the first read for tobacco use and
Yes,
stuff?
all of those are your first readers for today. Let me point one thing out real quick since y'all mentioned it. There's a bunch of policies on here that are just for minor updates. I'm gonna go through those and make sure there's not anything that the board needs to work on. I didn't give you copies of all those. There is a policy that says if it is minor updates, the superintendent can just put them in place and tell y'all about it.
Sure.
So if that's true, Robert, I'll get back with you about just put these in place and we'll let them know we did these.
One of the, was you gonna talk to him about remote meeting people?
Yeah, give me another minute on that. I think we didn't approve that policy, and there's a recent case that I want to a little more fully digest so we can figure out why the school board association made the changes. I'm not sure whether the policy changes needed or not, but I want to talk to y'all in closed session about
It has to do with a board member trying to come in, be a part of the meeting remotely.
Yes,
We've done that before.
Yes, and it was about the problem to me is it's a case about a county and county commissioners doing it. And sometimes they didn't have a quorum present. They didn't, like there were 2 commissioners sitting in a meeting, you got 5. And they had another one remote in. Well, commissioners and municipal, like a town position, town alderman, there's a voting law that says things like you have to be voting in present. And so present, all that stuff is not in there for school boards. There's nothing in state law that applies to school board that says you can't fully participate remotely. And that's the way we always handled it until the pandemic happened. Then we had a set of rules that said when you're in a state of emergency, here's how you got to act to be present. And that's what this case is like, looking at how that applies. And it feels to me like the School Board Association went overboard with how they redid the policy. But I want another meeting to sort of chew on that. And y'all get here for all these meetings anyhow, so it's not like we gotta have a policy in place today, as long as we're not confronting remote participation. So we're good for one more month, and we'll get that one ironed out.
Okay, good. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Second? Second. All in favor?